Hey, welcome back to Two Super Guys Trade Stocks. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Vinny. And today I'm going to talk about inflation overall, and in particularly how it has affected me in my personal life with a real life example of how the reports are lying about the true rate of inflation.
All right,
Get to it.
spicy.
Two stupid guys trade stocks.
So I was able to obtain this actually classified photo of Chairman Powell during the actual pandemic. This is him. He just literally just blew up the U.S. dollar in terms of its buying power. He just destroyed it, never coming back. All right.
I like Jerome Powell. I'm going to defend him here. I'm still waiting for your argument.
No. That's Warren Buffett's called him a hero, right? The This is kind of ties into the other video we just shot. Was talking about the job report. Came in pretty good. You know, we've added 2.3 million jobs. Unemployment rate is below 4% still, but people are still pissed off. Okay. Why are people still pissed off? Like I said, I'm going to give you a great example from my own life here. So you see all these headline numbers, and those numbers don't jive with how people are feeling. You know, if you're like me and you spend any time on Reddit reading some of this stuff, people are have lost their faith in the establishment, and they are not happy with their ability to climb the corporate ladder or social ladder. It is really kind of a lot of frustration that you see there. Do you have a thought on that one?
I do have a thought on that one. One thing I will say, which is why I don't trust anything on the internet, is no one talks about happy things. They just complain about fucking everything, right? Because negativity sells. Negativity gets more clicks. Negativity gets more interaction, which is why we're not a big channel, because I'm not gonna call everyone out. I don't know. That could be a part of it. I might be wrong.
Yeah, no, but it's very real concerns that actually are impacting people's daily lives. You know, this video is not really going to talk about rent, but things like that. And I said, we just talked about the jobs video, how the number of jobs being created are often in lower paying industries. Like, yeah, sure, you can go get a job as a Starbucks barista, but you can get a kind of a job that will support a average family home and two kids and a dog. It's really hard to find those opportunities to the same degree that would be nice to see in society. So many people
Starbucks
ladder
has
climb.
great benefits. They're pretty
They do.
solid.
All right. With that, I introduce you to, I'm a fat bastard. This is one of my regular go-to meal from Burger King here. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
You got a double cheeseburger, 2 8-piece nuggets, and a medium soft drink. Okay. I know, right? What can I
Okay.
say? That's not the point. The point is, I'm also mildly I don't know, rigid in my life. So I bought the same thing for the last several years, so I can go back to old credit card statements to see how much I used to pay for this.
Did you
All
actually
right.
do that?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, so you gotta love it. So I only checked one credit card statement, but it was December 2021. I for sure bought the same exact thing here. It used to be $8.81. It's the same location, so
Wow.
no difference in taxes or anything like that. That I most recently bought it just like last week. I paid $11.94 for the same exact meal. Okay. The price increase is $3.13 there. That is a 35.5% increase in prices over the last 23 months.
Yeah.
If you divide that by 23, then annualize it out, it's an 18.5% increase on something that really affects people on the lower end of socioeconomic ladder. Okay. Burger King isn't fine dining here, right? This is people that this is a treat for people that are very much working class, trying to grab some lunch, in between jobs or something like that. That's who I eat okay, because I'm a complete idiot.
All right. I mean,
All right.
you're owning it, so I'm not going to say anything.
Oh yeah, I can't deny that. So you have seen some improvement in sentiment over this time. Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index here really bottomed out significantly. It was the lowest rating in history, and it's come back up actually from that standpoint over the last few months. But we're still at a fairly low level compared to historical. And if you're actually watching here, see these gray shaded areas? Those are all recessions. So we had a significant drop in consumer sentiment without actually triggering a recession. Powell has said this time is different, this time is unique, and this is a standpoint of evidence to back that up, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I very much disagreed with that when he said that, but I mean, I still think it's coming though.
It's acting pretty uniquely. Okay, this is the headline CPI. What's up?
Jim Cramer said that there wasn't going to be a recession, so there's definitely going to be a recession now. So it's happening.
And then one country declared war on a terrorist group. They completely ridiculous. Yeah. It's bound to have global ripples. Okay. I haven't yet kind of figured out what they're going to be, but bound to happen. And we saw just what happened with Russia and Ukraine. I can only imagine that we'll see some things kind of similar
this
here.
It's going to get spicy.
Yeah, yeah, of course. The this is the CPI basically, right? So we have come down from the peak significantly. We had like a little mild bounce here. This is the headline CPI number, but I'm going to show you the actual food away from home one and how what reading we're getting on that. So
Ah.
this is food away from home category. It's reading at a 6.5% compared to my 18.5%. What do you think about that?
Oh, I mean, they're probably normalizing all products and groceries and all that stuff. And there's
So
also, I'm going to say a part of this is corporate greed, right? Burger King probably
absolutely.
thinks that they can get away with a large percentage. It's not increasing because their cost is increasing. They're like, let's just keep on. And I'm sure their cost is increasing a little bit. I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's all one, but there's definitely probably some corporate greed because I love Chick-fil-A and it's way cheaper and better. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So certainly, this is so CPI is Consumer Price Index, right? So this is actually accounting for what the price the customer ultimately pays. It doesn't tell you anything about the profit margin of the business. Producer Price Index would be a better kind of metric for how much they're paying. Although once again, these things are very broad. I just gave you one specific example, as opposed to like looking at the entire sector. Perhaps when you account for like fine dining restaurants, maybe they've been able to have a little bit less in terms of their inflation rate than you've seen on this lower end, because 18% on like a dish that was already $40 is going to be a much
yeah.
bigger price hike than you would see on a $3 price hike on a meal at like something like a fast food establishment. But
So
I just thought it was an interesting example.
I know you're right, and that's not the only example because I recently saw a thing that like McDonald's no longer has dollar menu things on their dollar menu, so it's not just Burger King. I do think more expensive restaurants have not increased like insanely, but I would say middle to low is I honestly I'm going to say taking advantage of the situation and having like record profits. I don't. It's kind of messed up in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I did not look at Burger King's. I forget the name of the corporate overlord there. Their profits since the pandemic, they actually kind of correlated with this, but I just thought it was an example of how although the headline number is 6.5% here for food away from home, that in a very specific example, I can show that like I am feeling much more pain than that number reflects, because that's an 18% increase, annualized increase on something I eat for lunch. And I'm kind of fortunate that I've had like a 25% of raises over the last like 3 years, but in comparison to a 50% increase in prices, if you actually would annualize that out, it's like nowhere even in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
And like that's in being in a good position to start with. So
I've had no raises.
sucks.
I'm also trying to get off fast food. Chick-fil-A is impossible. It's so good. I've gotten off of everything else though.
Yeah, that Chick-fil-A sauce is life.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, guys. Let
Catch
us
you
know
next
what you
one.
think.